Welcome to this talk on my Shakti Yoga Nidra called Grieving the Loss of a Loved One. This practice supports you through the tender experience of grieving the loss of someone you deeply love. Grief touches places inside you that are often too raw, too private, and too sacred for ordinary conversation. And in this meditation, we meet those inner spaces with gentleness and sincerity. As you enter this practice, you are guided to settle into a secure inner sanctuary where your breath begins to soothe what words cannot reach, and where presence begins to soften the heaviness that rests in the chest. This is not a journey of pushing anything aside. It is a journey of opening to the truth that love and sorrow rise from the same depth inside you, and both can be held with compassion. In this first movement of the practice, the heart is invited to breathe again, not by effort, but by the natural intelligence within your own awareness. The breath becomes a calm river carrying warmth through the tender areas that have tightened around loss. And this creates an atmosphere within you where the body begins to release its protective layers. When the body feels supported, the heart begins to trust its own rhythm again, and the grief that once felt overwhelming starts to find a softer expression. And as you breathe, the edges of loss loosen, create room for love to be felt in a new way. As you rest in this field of safety, something profound begins to happen. The resistance that often comes with grief, the instinct to hold on or to brace against the pain, slowly melts under the steady kindness of presence. You sense the truth that your grief is not a problem to solve, but an expression of the depth of your love. You begin to feel the heart opening to an inner spaciousness that gently dissolves the tension you have been carrying. In that openness, you recognize that even your tears are held in a greater intelligence that supports you completely. Picture yourself lying down, the weight of the world lifting from your shoulders as your breath expands through the heart. Within that quiet space, you feel the beginning of trust returning, the trust that you can move through this loss with grace, and that this moment is not too much for your spirit. As the meditation deepens, the breath becomes the central doorway to healing. Each inhale arrives like a soft infusion of light that fills the center of the chest, and each exhale becomes an offering into the compassionate presence that surrounds you. The breath reminds you that you are not alone in this experience, because every inhale carries the support of the universe, and every exhale releases your sorrow into something vast, warm, and unconditionally loving. With each cycle of breath, the grief that once felt solid begins to shift into a fluid energy that can be held, met, and understood. When you consciously breathe into the heart, you begin to sense the presence of your loved one, not as a recollection, but as an essence that becomes intimately felt. There is a moment in this practice when their energy no longer feels distant because it is sensed as a part of the living space within you. This awareness brings comfort that it is not conceptual, it is energetic, and the feeling of returning connection often arises as a warmth in the chest, tingling in the hands, or a soft vibration around the heart. The breath makes this subtle connection possible because it lifts the veil between physical and energetic presence. This awareness of connection begins to dissolve the story that loss separates you. Instead, you begin to perceive grief as the bridge between the love you shared in physical form and the love that now meets you in formless presence. As the breath continues, the heart softens enough to feel the depth of the truth. This is where tears often arise, not out of despair, but out of recognition that love is still alive within you. Your breath becomes the sacred thread that ties you to the one you miss. Imagine breathing slowly into your chest, feeling warmth expand. As you breathe out, a gentle sense of your beloved draws near, not in memory, but in felt presence. The breath carries you into communion where love and sorrow meet in one living space of the heart. As the meditation continues, your awareness moves into the subtle body, the energetic dimension where the presence of your beloved is most easily felt. Through the rotation of consciousness, every part of your body is touched by awareness, creating a full sense of connection from crown to toes. This awakens the subtle channels where emotional memory resides and allows the energy of grief to move freely rather than remain locked inside. The body becomes a clear, open field where love can circulate again. When you sense your body as light rather than tension, the spiritual truth of your loved one's presence becomes more accessible. Their essence is not bound by physical form, and in this state of deep stillness that Yoga Nidra cultivates, the heart's intuitive intelligence wakes up and perceives what the thinking mind could never hold. You feel their nearness in sensations, in warmth, in the way your chest expands without effort, and in the soft recognition that something familiar is touching you from within. This part of the journey brings a profound sense of relief. What once felt like a painful absence begins to reveal itself as a different kind of presence. You begin to trust that the love you shared that has not vanished but has shifted into a form that meets you through silence rather than through the senses. The body becomes a receptive vessel that makes this communication possible, and the energy of your beloved becomes a living frequency that you can recognize and rest into. Picture yourself resting in luminous stillness. An awareness travels through your body. You begin to feel more open, more spacious, and more connected. And in that openness, there is a moment when you realize that the one you love is not gone. They are simply meeting you through the language of energy. The heart of this Yoga Nidra is communion, the moment where the longing to feel your loved one is answered not by imagination, but by presence. In the deep silence that unfolds, you feel the unmistakable truth that love does not disappear when your form dissolves. It becomes clearer, more direct, and closer to your own essence. The heart feels held from within, and the separation begins to dissolve, not through thought, but through direct experience. The quiet realization dawns that you are touching the eternal aspect of love and the part of you that cannot die. In this communion, grief softens into tenderness, and a new way of relating to your beloved emerges. You begin to sense that they are not behind you in the past, they are beside you in the present. Their presence is not something you remember, it is something you feel. The heart opens to the truth that the connection has become more intimate because it now moves from soul to soul rather from body to body. This recognition creates peace, the kind that rises from within and begins to dissolve all of your fear of being alone. You release the effort to understand or control the experience of loss. Surrender becomes a sacred doorway where you feel held by something larger than grief, something vast and loving. This surrender is where transformation happens because the weight you carried begins to blend into the field of love that surrounds you. You discover that grief does not end love. It deepens it, refines it, and turns it into a spiritual companionship that continues beyond form. Imagine lying in stillness, feeling the touch of eternity in your breath. In that quiet space, you sense your beloved meeting you without distance. You are wrapped in the same field of presence, and in that communion, you recognize that love has become something immortal within you. As the meditation moves toward completion, you begin to integrate experience into your waking awareness. You sense that the heaviness has shifted, the heart feels more spacious, and the body feels more at ease. Grief is still present, yet it is now held within a large space of understanding and love. You recognize that you are not defined by what you lost. You are defined by the love that continues to live within you. This realization gives you strength to move forward without abandoning the depth of what you feel. When you return from this Yoga Nidra, you carry with you the quiet knowledge that your beloved remains woven into your being. Their presence is not dependent on physical form, but is alive as a part of your heart's own vibration. This awareness becomes a gentle companion that supports you through the waves of grief and helps you meet life with steadiness and tenderness. The connection you feel becomes an inner resource, an anchor of love that you can return to whenever you feel the need and you want to be comforted. You rise from the practice with a renewed capacity to breathe, to feel, and to open. The journey does not erase your grief. It transforms the way you hold it. You begin to trust that you can move forward while keeping your beloved close, because they now live within your breath, your heartbeat, and your awakened presence. This inner companionship becomes a living truth that supports your healing and guides your steps with clarity and quiet strength. Picture yourself sitting up slowly after the practice, hands resting at your heart. In that simple gesture, you feel the closeness of your loved one and the vastness of your inner presence. You walk forward knowing that this love has not ended. It has simply evolved into a new and sacred way of being together. If you want to explore more about Yoga Nidra meditation, my personal journey, or the philosophy behind these teachings, please like and subscribe to my channel, Shakti Talks. Also, if you are interested in experiencing this Shakti Yoga Nidra, you can go to Patreon, to patreon.com, and my page is called Shakti Talks Yoga. Thank you for watching.